put a fighter in your corner.
And once again, welcome to the Walton Law Firm Show. Hope you are having a wonderful, lovely day. And as always, Tripp and I, we're so excited that you've taken the time out to join us.
Absolutely.
And ladies and gentlemen, introducing none other than William Bill Clinton. No, Tripp Walton.
Yeah, Bill was daddy.
Yeah, Bill was daddy.
Yeah.
So you and Bill, oh, okay, all right.
I'm the third, so I'm triple Tripp.
You triple Tripp.
Yeah.
Okay. So there's a beverage named after you called Triple Sec. Isn't it like a... That's a little different.
It may be.
You know something called Triple Sec they put in...
some sort of drink.
Yeah, some sort of drink. But anyway.
I never have been a bartender, so I don't know.
I got you. So how you doing, man?
I'm doing great. How about yourself?
Doing
It's a beautiful day, beautiful
is.
spring day, 1st of April. Well, second week in April, I guess.
All right. A beautiful day today, almost in the 80s, and there's no telling where we'll be tomorrow or the next day.
Could be in the 30s or could be in the 100s.
Like this past weekend, it got a little Irish.
A little chilly.
As the old folk would say.
And got the heat back on. Had my fireplace going.
Okay.
Which was fun.
You got gas or you use
gas?
actual log?
Hit a button, it comes on. Hit a button, it goes off.
Hey man, that's what they call cheating. I
It's
have to
cheating.
light mine. It's gas, but I have to light it first.
Yeah.
I got an older home, but you have to turn on the old knobs.
I got you.
But it does the job.
I've had those. I've had those too.
Yeah, it can be very romantic.
Yeah.
If you want romance, you have your place set up.
You got to have the right person
That
there.
ain't really at my house, but anyway. Scratch that last statement. Look at you, man. You're talking about your attire here.
I've got on my master's outfit. You know, I saw these golfers wear white shoes and white pants. So my office man, I told my office manager, why don't you go get me some new clothes and get me some white pants.
Okay.
So she did.
She did.
So I put them on today to wear them since the Masters was last week, and apparently it was sort of boring.
Yeah, it was interesting early in the week when, you know, Tiger
made the comeback,
and
then all of a sudden he disappeared off the map.
He disappeared, and
everybody disappeared, but about 3 of them. You know, usually they're showing about 8 or 10 of them hitting the last 2 days. It's like a sparring match, and there was no sparring match.
Man, people, you just can't imagine. It's already tough, but you can't imagine hitting that ball on a tough course with the winds circling around like it was.
That's a great equalizer there.
And if you're able to do it, it's skill, but it's some luck involved too as well.
You know, the guy that won it, he's so young, he obviously just ignored it.
That's you have to.
You just have to go. I mean, it didn't bother him. It bothered everybody but him. I mean, he was cutting right through it somehow or another. I think he just acted like it didn't exist and went on about his business.
And I think you're right. You know, just not paying it any attention, or finding a way to get it out your mind.
Yeah,
and
absolutely, because it's a mind game.
It is.
That's why I couldn't play it.
That's why me and somebody was talking the other day. It's getting where it's not fun to me anymore.
Yeah.
It is. But when you just do stuff, when you hit the ball crazy, you just know you ain't supposed to do that, and you can't figure out why you done it. That can be frustrating.
It gets frustrating, and besides, I like a contact sport, and they won't let me hit the other person with the club. You know, like sort of like hockey, and boxing, and football, contact. But they would not let me use the club to hit my opponent with, so I didn't play it long.
You're right, because you would have to be defending yourself.
That's
called assault.
Doing assault charges. So once it wasn't sociably acceptable to do that, I decided to give my clubs away. So I gave them to one of my secretary's sons years ago.
Well, I think you probably need to at least ride by a golf course today and take some photos.
I can go out to the club, go out to eat lunch,
or something,
and look like I'm going to be playing golf.
Have the greenery behind you, because you look so festive.
I feel festive too.
I feel good.
I feel good. You got me new hearing aids.
You do?
Well, yeah.
They're invisible.
Yeah. Well, they're not invisible. You can see them from behind me, but if anybody slips up behind me, they got me anyway. Look at that.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah, I can hear.
Okay.
They're going to cut them up I go 2 weeks in this setting, and then they cut them up another notch. And I go 2 weeks with that setting, then come up to the loudest, to where I'm supposed to have my normal hearing, based upon my charts and my loss of hearing. So it's good.
So you can, even on the lower settings, can you?
Yeah, I can hear a lot better.
You can?
I can hear things I don't even want to hear.
Well,
you know, like my ice machine making noises in the middle of the night. I think somebody's coming in the window. My refrigerator, the dog walking around and she plops because she's so tall. So when she's, boom, and I think somebody just jumped in through the door, you know. But it's good. I mean, I've really enjoyed them. They called me yesterday to check on me, and I said, I'm fine. I said, any complaints? I said, no, I love them. So I wish Blue Cross Blue Shield had help pay for them. They didn't.
They did?
No. And I spoke with an agent today about it. He said, yeah, that's a bad thing about our policy. They don't pay for hearing aids. He said, but you'll be on Medicare in another 6-7 months. So your next pair, they'll pay for. I said, well, I got a 3-year warranty on these, so in 3 years, maybe Medicare will help me pay for them. It's hard to believe, Medicare.
Yeah. Knocking on that door.
No, here it comes. They're
Do
worse
you have to
alternatives.
take them off for anything, or you can
take them off when I take them off when I get in a sauna, and, you know, heavy duty sweat. I take them off in the shower and swimming.
Okay.
And I don't sleep in them.
That was my next question.
Yeah. No.
Okay. Okay. All right.
So, and you know, when I get up in the morning, I forget I don't have them on because there's nobody talking in the house.
Right.
But the beauty of it is they're Bluetooth.
Okay.
So when you call me, it's going straight into my hearing aids. Just
Bluetooth
like having,
too?
yeah. And when I cut my music on my phone, it's going straight into my hearing aids. So I walk around the office singing. They said, "Oh, you singing good today." I said, "I'm cheating. I have the music going into my ears."
Interesting. I've never known that.
Oh yeah.
But Bluetooth.
You know, you see the singers on concerts. They got those things in their ears.
Right.
Well, it's exactly what I got.
I got you.
So.
Okay. All right. Well, there you go.
There you have it.
Well, speaking of the guy who won the Masters, he how much did he actually win?
I think
the purse was $11 million.
The whole deal was 15.
15. Oh, 15. Okay.
And he won 2.7.
Okay.
So he had a good day.
He had a good day.
His wife was proud.
Yeah, I saw her when she was
happy.
crying when he was coming.
I would have been too if my husband was fixing to make 2.7 million.
Baby.
Did you see him miss those last 2 or 3 putts? I mean, he ain't missed nothing in 3 days, and he gets to the 18th, and I almost got humorous. Hope that doesn't mess him up for life, you know, with a golfer.
Because you're going to think about it.
He may never hit another putt.
Exactly.
But he did good in 2.7. Then second place got 1.62 million. Third place got 1.02 million, and 50th place won 37,800. So the last player still made $37,800.
Okay. If we don't have a lot of overhead, that's not
It ain't shabby.
Ain't
I mean, it's, you know, it's. I like that kind of stuff.
Exactly. So you like that kind of stuff.
Yeah. If I could hit them with the clubs, I could be making that kind of money.
Exactly. Well, we have our first African American female Supreme Court.
Absolutely. I didn't watch any of that because I can't stand those nitpicky questions they asking brilliant people.
Brilliant people.
They've been confirmed. Every one of them been confirmed 2 or 3 times in the federal system. And there's first-rate people.
What's the purpose of that?
I don't know. It's to show how idiotic the other side can be. If the Republicans are doing it, they look like idiots. If the Democrats are doing it, they look like idiots.
Okay.
Just leave them alone.
Right.
Pick the best one and get her on there. But she should be real decent, real good. I see here where her high school guidance counselor discouraged her from applying to Harvard, saying she would never get in. Well, she ignored her and she got in. And she says, I cannot recall a single time in my childhood in which I cared about the slights or the misconceptions and underestimations that came my way. What I do remember is often thinking, well, I will show them.
Right.
And that's good. You got to have a chip on your shoulder to make it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
A chip on, and you've been talking about that a lot. That's basically what you've been saying.
Yeah, I've always had a chip on my shoulder. His daddy used to laugh and say I was the leader of the slow group.
Okay.
And my grandmother said, you know, you don't really need to go to Auburn. You need to go to trade school. And, you know, people told me I couldn't make it in SEC football. People said, what are you doing boxing?
Okay.
Why are you going to Atlanta to fight in the Golden Gloves? Well, to win it. I mean, that's, you know, I mean, you know, people just thought I was crazy, but it's the same sort of thing. You got a chip on your shoulder, you got something to prove. So it drives you. And
so you had a lot of that too, huh?
Yeah. And it's driven this lady all the way to the U.S. Supreme Court, where she will be the rest of her life. So it's going to be good.
Wow. Interesting.
Yep. You know, I was going to say, give everybody a tip on something. I don't know how many people are fasting.
Okay.
Do you do any intermittent fasting? Have you started that yet? It's big.
Not intermittent.
But I do total day, 24-hour fast twice a week and a lot of intermittent fasting. But I'll give you a tip that I found out about those who are doing any fasting. If you use stevia in your coffee, tea, or water, or whatever drink, don't. Because even though most people say it does not bump your insulin, and if insulin is bumped and being produced, you can't be burning fat. It's just a fact. So, you know, you have to stay away from any calories when you're fasting, and particularly sugar or sweet. But apparently the brain picks up on a sweet taste, even if it's a fake sugar.
Okay.
And immediately kicks in insulin. So I have noticed that if I don't use stevia, which I've been using for years, I've quit using, like I drink my coffee black, I have no hunger whatsoever the entire 24 hours. So I did an experiment the other day. I had 2 cups of coffee, just regular black. Of course, no cream, no gook, no sweetener, and no stevia, which is supposed to be a natural herb type sweetener that does not jack up your insulin. Well, it does.
Okay.
But anyway, I was on my 3rd cup. I did a little bag of Truvia, which is what I use when I get my stevia, and I was starving within a half a cup of that. So I poured it out and just got another cup of black coffee, and within about 30 minutes I was fine again.
That's amazing.
But I had, it's just amazing. I read in one of my fasting books where the lady said, for the love of God, do not use these mints I eat all the time that have alcohol sugar in them. They're not supposed to bump your insulin. Well, they do. And stevia was not supposed to bump your insulin. Now, your yellow bag, your blue bag, and your pink bag sugar have always bumped the insulin. I mean, that's always been a gimme, even though it's no calories. It doesn't matter if it's calories or not. If your insulin is coming out of your pancreas, where it comes from, you can't burn fat. So, anyway, that's just a tip to those of you who wonder why you might not be getting as much out of your fasting as you want to get. If you're cheating and using stevia thinking it's okay, it ain't okay. So there you have it.
That makes sense. Man, he's
I'm
profound
sure
in everything
I
that
know
he
everybody's
shares.
jumping up and down home and say, woo, thank God we found that out. But
Exactly.
anyway, I just thought I'd pass it on.
That's some interesting information.
Well, you know, it's
quite
just
the opposite of what you're being told, but you're
yeah.
finding out it ain't.
It's just
truth.
like I was talking to a lady the other day about anxiety, and you know, a lot of people today suffer from anxiety. I think the internet causes a lot of anxiety. I think Facebook causes a lot of anxiety. But there are 3 things that I think of to help keep that in check. And of course, the first is the past.
Okay.
The past is over.
Right.
Whether you were right or wrong, at fault or not at fault, whatever occurred, you can't change it. Now, let me say this. If you have a potion that we can drink or sprinkle that will change things that have happened in the past, let me in on it. I want a bottle or 2 of it, and plus I want to put it on the internet to become a billionaire overnight. But that doesn't exist.
No.
So there's nothing you can do about the past, so let it go, and that will help you with anxiety. Now, the next biggest problem people have, other than thinking about the past, which needs to be stopped, it's over.
Right.
Put a red circle around it, a line through it, and cast it away. The next thing people do is worry about the future. Well, let me tell you the best way to handle that is do the best you can do in this time right now.
Right now.
If you do everything you need to do today, the future's going to take care of itself because you've done what you need to do to get there.
Amen.
So you don't have to worry about the future. The best time to be worried about, or be not worried, to deal with is now time, today. From the time you get up this morning till the time you go to bed tonight. Do the best you can in everything you do, and that will take care of the future. So there you have it. That ought to help with anxiety.
Man, and that's biblical too, what you just said too. I mean, it's practical, it's biblical,
Yeah.
it's the truth.
Yeah.
It's
So
the
anyway,
truth.
I'm just going to pass that on today for my little bit of motivation.
Okay, motivation before you go into your
Motivation before I do my written motivation.
All right.
Here's something that is interesting. Beethoven rose above deafness to compose majestic, is that right, music. Helen Keller, who could neither see, hear, nor speak for a long time, achieved a victory few can imagine. Alcott was told by an editor that she had no writing ability and should forget about attempting such endeavors and the book Little Women came shortly thereafter. Walt Disney submitted his first drawings for publication. The editor told him that he had no talent. Walt, you need to do something else. F.W. Woolsworth was not permitted to wait on customers in the stores where he worked because his employer said he did not have enough sense to meet the public. And of course, Woolsworth was a major department store for 100 years.
Yes, it was.
So when you seem like you're down and out, rise up and fight again. As Yogi Bear said, it ain't over till it's over. So, or it ain't over till the fat lady sings, one of the two.
You're right.
I think he did both of those.
He did.
Depending on who you're talking to.
Depending on who you're talking to. It's
I,
kind of like what you were just talking about with the new Supreme Court appointee. Same thing.
Same exact thing.
And went right into it.
Yeah.
And but it's amazing how some people let the noise and the talk keep them from persevering.
Keep them down.
Them at bay.
Keep them in the bottom of the pyramid. Forget about it. Get on, work your way up to the top of the pyramid.
And we have this misconception. We think everybody who is successful or achieved a level of success, we think that they've had that their whole life.
You know, I'm glad you brought that up because it's amazing how many lawyers come up to me in the courtroom and say, I wish I could do like you. I said, what do you mean? Well, you come in one day, you don't come in the next, you come in at 2, you may come in. I said, well, let me just tell you something. I started practicing law when I was 28, and I didn't get married or have stepchildren until I was 50. And what I did between those 2 time periods was do nothing but work. Now, I did play hard sometimes, but I worked hard and I played hard. But they don't get it.
No.
It doesn't just come like that.
Don't come like
you
that.
just don't show up and say, they do. I've interviewed numerous lawyers who show up and say, well, I've got a law degree. I think I need to start off making about $220,000. What are you talking about?
Right.
I mean, you won't make that in your lifetime if you don't come in here and work 25, 30, years and get going. So anyway, it is, people just think it just happens. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't just happen.
Nope.
I got news for you. If you think it just happens, it doesn't happen.
Interesting.
So anyway.
I want to be like Tripp. But you got to go through what Tripp went through.
Yeah, and they don't see that.
They don't see that. Okay. Once again, we thank you for all your questions coming in. We have a few questions we're going to highlight. And this is from Tara H. from LaGrange, Georgia. She said, I saw on your page that we can ask the attorney Tripp a question. If so, here goes. A few years ago, I was in the car with my cousin, and we were involved in an accident. She didn't get hurt, but I did, but not bad. So I thought, till this day, my back still hurts. The accident was her fault. Could I have sued her insurance company for pain and suffering because I was injured? I know we are family, and that's why I didn't say anything at the time, but I'm still hurting. Or what would you have done in my situation?
Well, most likely there's a 2-year statute of limitations. So I'm assuming the 2 years has run and you have missed the right to file a lawsuit. If I'm incorrect, you might want to go see a lawyer and see if they'll take it. Now, having back pain, if you hadn't received treatment from the minute of the wreck, within 72 hours, and steadily thereon, the insurance company is not going to pay any attention to you.
Okay.
Because, you have to have a collision, you have to have injury that at least within the first 72 hours, typically, you have to go to the ER, you have to go to the doctor, and you have to have treatment and records of the treatment. So in order to have a personal injury, you have to have records of a personal injury. It doesn't just happen. Now, yes, you could sue her. In Alabama, you would have a problem suing because we have the guest statute. And if you're a mere social guest in a car, you can't sue the driver unless the driver is wanton. Mere negligence will not get it. They have to be, driving 80 miles an hour, on drugs, drunk, that sort of stuff. So you got your wanton conduct that has to come into play before you can file suit. Or if you're paying for the gas or you're going on a business trip, then that takes it out of the guest statute. I don't think Georgia has the guest statute.
Okay.
So most likely you could sue. Of course, you can always sue anybody. The question is, can you be successful, and is it worth the money? Remember, lawsuits are expensive. A simple car wreck, let's say somebody comes in, and I file a simple car wreck, I'm going to be spending $300, $400, $500 just to file the complaint. We got discovery going. By the end of the day, by the time you get to trial, you're going to have spent somewhere between $5,000 and $10,000 minimum on a simple running the stop sign.
Okay.
You have to go take depositions of the doctors. You have to prove your medical expenses. If there's any physical therapist, you have to depose all these people. That requires a court reporter, a videographer. All those people charge money. So the cost is something people don't have a clue about, and they don't talk about on TV. Like I told you recently in a show, on the case that we handled last year that we settled for $15 million, we spent $150,000 out of my pocket on the case. Had we gone to trial, we would have spent up to probably $250,000 to $350,000 out of my pocket. So it gets a little nerve-wracking because anything can go wrong.
Right.
But anyway, yes, you could have sued if you had documented your injuries. Of course, it wouldn't do much for the family reunion. Like you say, it's family and you might just want to let it go.
Okay.
So anyway, that's a great question though.
Okay.
Got a lot of different issues in there, particularly with the two states. Got a little difference between Alabama and Georgia on those kind of cases.
Okay. And thank you for asking the question about, I will not be in concert, but this Friday and Saturday, He's Alive at Faith Baptist Church in LaGrange. I'll be doing 4 songs on Friday and 4 songs on Saturday. This person asked when was my next concert.
I like that.
So it's not be a concert, but He's Alive. If you've never seen it before, you would be in for a treat.
It'd be good.
Yeah, be good. All right, next question. Seth K. from Valley, Alabama. I watched the show in which you said you think the Will Chris fight was staged. I thought so too, but now I think it's real. After watching the behind-the-scenes footage, Will resigned from the academy. Now my question, can Chris Rock sue him for embarrassment? How long can Chris wait if he wants to press charges? Then, what if Kevin slapped you on the show? Would you slap him back? Laugh out loud, just like him. Can Jada
I would fall out.
I would not be slapping a boxer anyway, a Golden Glove boxer anyway. That's the last person I want to slap. Yeah. And can Jada sue Chris for hurting his feelings? I know these might seem like crazy questions, but
there's a lot of interesting questions. First of all, I think I've gone like you. I have changed my mind. I think it probably was real.
Okay.
Even though I didn't see any mark on Chris's face, I think it was probably a real slap.
Okay.
Now, we had a bunch of questions. Can you?
Okay, first one. All right. Can Chris Rock sue Will for embarrassment?
Well, he could sue him for an assault.
Okay.
Assault and battery.
Okay.
Of course, where was that, in California?
I think so.
He could probably sue him for embarrassment in California. I mean, we don't know their rules. They're so different from ours. It's like a foreign country. So he could probably sue him for just about anything. As far as having him arrested, he's probably got a statute of limitations for like a harassment or assault charge there too. But the longer you wait, the staler it gets, and it looks like he's just doing it for some other reason other than you really meant it. So in something like that, you need to get a warrant taken out immediately.
Okay.
What else we got?
And that goes to the next question. How long can Chris wait if he wants to press charges?
That would depend on California law. If it's a misdemeanor in Alabama, probably Georgia too, no longer than a year. But again, if you want to press criminal charges, you need to be at the sheriff's department or the police department the day it happened or the day you get out of the hospital. Don't wait, because then it looks like you have an ulterior motive. And if I'm a defense lawyer, I'm going to eat you alive with it. Well, you waited 3 months before you took out the warrant on your next door neighbor. Why is that? Because he had a party and didn't invite you. He didn't invite you to the barbecue, did he? So now you're going to take out your warrant. So, you just got to do it pretty quickly or you get eat up with stupid questions like I just said.
Wow.
But that's the way it works.
That's the way it works.
Yeah.
And I know what you're going to say to this question right here. She asks, can Jada do anything to Chris for hurting her feelings?
No.
No. Okay.
But again, it's California.
Right.
But she's, all these people are what you call movie stars. They're public figures. So you can almost say anything you want to about a public figure. You can even be malicious about public figures like we are about our politicians. Stuff they say about the president. Used to, you'd been prosecuted. Now you can say about whatever you want to.
Okay.
As long as it's a public figure. Now, a private figure, you got to be careful what you say. You get into a slander defamation lawsuit. But those are all good questions, and they're way over my head.
Way over your head. Well, they think you the man, so I got one more question pertaining to that. From another viewer, Gloria B. She's from the backwaters. Can Chris Rock sue the Academy?
Well, now that's a good question. If it was in Alabama, he probably could not, because you cannot sue for the criminal acts of a third party because they're not foreseeable under our law in Alabama. Now, let's say this. Now, of course, this is the first time it's ever happened in the history of the event. But let's just say that in the last 50 years, that somebody has slapped somebody or attacked somebody 15 or 20 times. Well, then maybe it is foreseeable, and maybe because of that, the Academy should have had guards standing up at the front. Like the church I went to in Auburn on Sunday, there were police officers everywhere. It was a huge crowd. And I noticed about 5 or 6 officers walking around in the church, which made me a little eerie. But you know, when crowds gather, things can happen. They go bad. But if there was some notice to the Academy that something like this could happen, like it happened 15 or 20 prior times, then yes, you probably could file a lawsuit. Now, again, because it's California law, they probably don't require notice, and you could probably file suit. But what would his damages be? I mean, how could you hurt Chris's feelings?
Right, Jada's feelings. Well,
I mean, Jada's, either one of them feelings. I mean, all of them are public figures. They've had stuff written about them that isn't true. They've been in magazine articles that aren't true. Even if it is true, you know. So, could they sue? Yeah, anybody can sue.
Anybody can sue.
But can they win, and who's going to spend the money on it and waste the time on it? I don't know.
Okay.
Good questions, though. Okay. Again, way over my head.
Okay, all right.
But it's fun to think about.
It is.
Yeah.
Exactly, because you know, hey, you're a lawyer. We think you know everything about the law.
Well,
kind of like you asked that one person in Big Lot about the whole store.
Yeah.
You got on that orange jacket. Can you tell me where the Kool-Aid is?
Exactly. That's exactly right. Well, I did that at Home Depot this weekend.
Okay, all right. Well, it's been another great, wonderful show.
Is it over?
It's over.
I'm not leaving.
You're not leaving.
I ain't going nowhere. I got on these white pants, white shoes.
But I refuse to let you go.
That's good.
That's good.
You.
Tell them how to get in contact with you if they want to utilize
334-321-3000. Car wrecks, truck wrecks, dog bites, death cases. Call us if you need us.
As always, thank you for watching the show. Keep those questions coming. And Trip is getting ready to tell you he'll see you next time.
And remember, no stevia if you're fasting.
Y'all have a good day.
We don't start the fight, we finish it.
Car accident, DUI, wrongful death? Contact the Walton Law Firm, 334-321-3000.